and again, another reason why I reached out is our conversation last week where you said how many kids are still left in the portal with 2 days to go, 10,000, close to 4,000 in the FBS alone. And, this is not just the sports world. So many things happen in the real world that we just move on because we've got other distractions, other things going on. The portal's now closed, and I'm wondering how many kids were left in the portal when it closed, because nobody talks about that. Josh,
yep.
What do you got for me?
You know what it's kind of like? It's kind of like in the South, like when a big tornado outbreak happens.
Right.
And the news focuses on it for 24, 48 hours. They move on. Community's still devastated. And you're like, where did the coverage go? Kind of in the sports world to remove all the tragedy from it.
Of course.
To maintain some of the same elements. That's kind of how the portal is. So I'm looking right here. I hit up my buddy over at On3, Pete Nakos, this morning, who just has a line to the portal. He himself is not in it, but he has a line to the portal. Okay, so just FBS. So we're just talking about the 136 FBS teams. 1,200 of them are still active. They are still in there. So to give everyone a little catch up here, the portal closed last weekend. And the rule isn't you have to have signed by the time it closes. The rule is you have to be in by the time the portal closes. Now, there's some very high-priced legal types out there that we could double box me with right now, and they would say, this is all cosmetic. This is all a mirage. There is no window. The NCAA just put some dates on a piece of paper, and they're crossing their fingers, hoping everyone abides by it. But really, legally, there's nothing stopping anyone. As long as you can get enrolled in school, you can portal whenever you want. All right, with that caveat added, right now, the portal is closed, according to the NCAA, which means if you're not already in it, you can't transfer the rest of the year. 1,210 are still active in that portal, meaning they have not signed anywhere. And I'm just telling you, I mean, people can like it or not. It's a reality that several of those guys will never play football again. Several of those guys are in there. And then you notice when we put that clip out from your show last week, there was a mixed reaction in the comments. And some of the comments were, oh, this is terrible, because I pontificated that jackals posing as agents were giving really bad advice to kids. And that's not my opinion. That's fact. But that wasn't the sentiment in the replies. The sentiment in the replies was largely, well, good, they deserve to learn these lessons, blah, blah, blah. And people are taking their distaste towards the overall climate of college football right now. And the only face that they can aim that vitriol at is the players. And to me, the players are probably acting no different in the current climate than any player at any point in history would have acted given these current parameters. So, yeah, a lot of guys just ended their career by going in the portal, some of them by listening to adults who allegedly have their best interest at heart, and they never even knew they ended their career when they made that decision.
So it's possible that of those 1,200 plus players still sitting in the portal, that there'll be, a spring game injury, a training camp injury, and they'll be able to switch or find a spot because the other teams that they portaled away from haven't taken them back or been told you're not welcome back here. So they're just waiting for an opportunity similar to a pro football player that doesn't get signed via free agency, got cut. Is that basically what their experience is going to be like over the next few weeks and months? Josh?
I imagine some stories are going to be like that. You got to remember, as much as people chuckle under their breath when I say this, there is still an academic element attached to this where you can't just go sit at home or sit in the dorm. Like there's this small matter of you needing to be in class, you needing to be enrolled somewhere. So as long as you're enrolled in somewhere, I guess you remain in good academic standing. And yeah, there's no limit. You can indefinitely stay in the portal until you want to sign somewhere. You just got to get enrolled there. But again, and this is why I wanted to say what I said a couple of minutes ago. This is all what's sort of just loosely written on the NCAA banner they're flying behind the plane right now. Nobody knows if it stands up to legal scrutiny. In fact, we kind of know it doesn't. It's a case-by-case thing as to which of these things have been torn to shreds in court and which ones haven't yet been torn to shreds in court. So I think we're going to have one of the most ridiculously legally contentious off seasons in college football history, because that's all you're going to hear about for the next 6 months, unless you just plug your ears, is a bunch of legal fights, about what the NCAA can and can't enforce with the transfer portal.
The only pushback or caveat I will give to what you just said about an academic a piece to this still existing is unless there's somebody in the portal that's already graduated.
Right.
And the thing that leapt out at me in the days leading up to the national championship game, Josh, was an exchange between Carson Beck and a reporter. And I think the reporter must have an angle, or she had a story about, the academic portion of all of this, and asked Carson Beck, was he in class like last week or the day before or something like that? I'm paraphrasing, but that was the general gist, is asking him, hey, were you in class this past week? And he laughed and he goes, I graduated. I haven't been in class in 2 years, said the quarterback of a team that was playing in the national championship game. And I'm like, wow, like that's a professional quarterback. Like he does not go to class because he's already graduated, and he's just being paid to play football, but it's for the University of Miami Hurricanes rather than the Miami Dolphins. That's a fact, Josh. That happened,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just had to bring that up in response to you saying what you just said.
Well, you got to remember, so also the life cycle of your modern day high level college football player is they enter high school knowing I plan on playing college football. So they get themselves in such a situation where they're ready to early enroll in college. Some of them skip their senior year in high school. They rearrange their schedule academically where they meet the academic requirement to graduate high school. Ryan Williams did this at Alabama. And so he's enrolled as a 17-year-old freshman at Alabama, but they early enroll. They're on campus all year. So they're taking a year-round class load. So, I mean, look, Carson Beck's not the best example of this, but a lot of these dudes are done. They already have degrees. And even if they're just a standard 4-year guy, I mean, a lot of them are working on a master's by the time they're second half of their junior season, just because they've already met the requirements.
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.